But the other topic that's on all of our minds is we're just a week away from the NBA draft. And the Cavaliers stand with 4 of the best picks in the draft. Number 1, they have the number 1 pick overall. And to talk a little bit about that and also his program, we've had the time. Mark Turgeon, the coach of Maryland, is taking the time out to sit with us for a minute. Coach, we appreciate you taking the time out. And from someone from Northeast Ohio, I'm sure you've heard this already, welcome to the Big Ten.
Thanks, guys. Looking forward to it.
You know, when you look at it, and obviously we wanted to talk to you about Alex Len, Coach, but I look at this Maryland program, and I look at you guys coming into the Big Ten, and obviously everyone always wants to talk football, especially Big Ten people, but I think this Maryland program will fit in pretty nice with the Ohio States, the Michigan States, Indiana. What do you look forward to? I know you probably didn't have a lot of say in moving to the Big Ten, but what is it about the Big Ten that you like about Maryland coming here?
Well, I love the coaches in the Big Ten. They're all, great guys that work hard and do it the right way, and they're great coaches. So, just the competition of going against them, the Izzos and Matas and Beelines of the world, and Matt Painters, and all of them. They're just great. Bo Ryan, great coaches, and really challenge you professionally. So, looking forward to that. And I think our program's up and coming. We have a young team, but by the time we get to the Big Ten, we should be an established program.
You mentioned all those names of those coaches, and you're right. There are some great coaches in the Big Ten. But just looking at your bio, and I'm old enough to remember you playing as a Kansas Jayhawk, which means a good thing. You've come around some good coaches. And how much has that influenced you and helped you being around the Larry Browns of the world?
Well, I've been obviously very lucky, starting with my high school coach, Ben Meskey, who's won 6 state championships in Kansas, and then being around Larry Brown and Roy Williams, and my dad had a big part of my life. He was one of my first coaches, so I've been lucky. Those guys have influenced me in a great way, and I wouldn't be sitting here today if it wasn't for the Larry Browns or Roy Williams, and I know that, and they've helped me tremendously, and I continue to talk to them often and keep learning from both of them.
Coach, you had a fun style to watch this year, and I got to admit, the first game that I watched you guys have was that game at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn when Alex Len was allowed to come back and play after sitting out 10 games, and he came out like gangbusters against that Kentucky team. You guys don't win the game, but he goes out, he scores 23 points, 12 rebounds, and 4 blocks. And for someone, and I'll even put myself in this, for someone that doesn't watch this Maryland program every single night, I remember talking to my dad going, hey, watch this Maryland team. They've got a big guy that can really play. Can you just go through this season with Alex where you have a lot of highs, but there were some lows, and especially in that first game, he dominated anybody that was on the court with him. Is the inconsistencies maybe in the numbers just something that comes from a young player still learning his craft?
Yeah, I think it was a number of things. First of all, that night at the Barclays Center was a great night for our program, and playing Kentucky, who had a lot of hype from the season before. And Alex played great, against another guy they're talking about being the number 1 pick. I thought Alex dominated him that night, and went for 23 and 12. We came up a little bit short, but Alex had a great year for us. And I think a lot of it, the inconsistencies, was our team was so inconsistent. Mm-hmm. We played 4 freshmen and 3 sophomores most of our minutes, and we were up and down. We were really good for 5 minutes and really bad the next 5, and a player would be good for 5 and not so good the next. But and our guard play wasn't where it needed to be. We turned the ball over a lot, and I think if our guard play would have been a little bit better, we would have had a little bit better shooters around Alex. His numbers would have been off the charts, but he just really progressed down the stretch, just kept getting better and better, and just played at an unbelievably high level on both ends, really down the stretch for us.
Coach Turgeon, are you surprised at this point in time that Alex, and you can be honest with this, and I know you can only be so honest, but how frustrating is it to have a team like that where, 15 years ago or so, Coach Williams would have said, hey, I'm going to have these guys together again next year, and let's see how we go. How difficult is it to be a college coach right now when you do get a talent like Alex Len and you get some other talented guys and you don't have the opportunity to watch them grow together for 3 or 4 years?
Well, that's part of our game, and I think you just, as a coach, you got to put yourself in the position to recruit 4-year guys, but also, get a guy like Alex every now and then. And, Alex came over here to play in the NBA, and I feel like I've done my job. He's going to get drafted really high, hopefully number 1. a week from today, and I feel like I've done my job. We got him ready. We made him tougher. He developed a low post game. I think he has the best low post game in the draft. And I feel good about what we've done. So it was time for him to move on. We knew around Christmas last year, Alex and I sat down. I said, Alex, we're not going to talk about it, but there's no way you're staying. And let's try to make you the number one pick. And you know, he's got a lot of talent. Just continue to improve, and I'm really proud of him.
I hate when we compare players, Coach, but I mean, obviously that's what people that sit in chairs like mine do. And I look back to these NBA playoffs. Obviously, we have Game 7 coming up tonight with the Heat and the Spurs. And when you watch the Heat, and everyone made them out to be the winner of this, I had friends call it the Heat Invitational before the tournament even started. But size, and I think you can speak to this better than I can, size has played a great role in slowing the Heat down, whether it be Tim Duncan in this series, but what Roy Hibbert was even able to do, and David West was able to do the series previous to that with the Indiana Pacers. At the end of the day, size still matters in the NBA and in basketball, period, correct? And I think Alex Len brings an element to the game, and you would know this better than I do, and nothing against Noel and Kentucky, but it seems like Alex, and I know he's coming off the surgery, he's a big guy that can move. Is that a correct way to look at him?
Absolutely. He's every bit of 7'1", about a 7'4" wingspan, and just he can really run. He was in gymnastics when he was younger. He's really athletic. And he's just turned 20 on Sunday, so he's really young and has a huge upside. And I'm watching the playoffs, and Alex down the stretch for us was dominant on the defensive end. Really protected the rim, had some big-time blocks, and I know he will be able to do that at the next level.
Right.
As you watched Hibbert in the playoffs, Hibbert would take a blow, guys would come right at him, jump into his body, and block it on the way down. Well, Alex is already doing that here for us, so I know he's got the timing defensively to do that. And then he's also got a part of the game that we didn't let him show. He can really shoot the ball. He made some threes down the stretch for us. We started to change the way we played. Alex is going to be great in the pick and pop, pick and roll, pick and pop. I think him and Kyrie would be unbelievable together in that situation. So, the kid's special. I think he's going to be a really, truly great one in the NBA.
Coach, I have to admit, when we first started talking about the NBA draft 2-3 months ago, Alex's name wasn't at the top of it. But the more I was able to watch film and talk to people, I don't know if he's going to go number one, but he's going to come pretty close to coming number one. And I think you just made a great point with he and Kyrie. What have you heard about where Alex will land? And what would it mean to the Maryland program if he is the number one overall pick?
Well, I think he's still in the running for number one. You don't know if Cleveland's going to keep it or trade it, and you don't know what's going to happen after that. But we feel really good. We feel good about 1. We feel good about 4. We feel good about 5 and 6. 2 and 3, not so much unless there was a trade there, just from what I'm hearing and who I'm talking to. But our goal is really not for Alex to be the number one. I mean, it was. We talked about it, but I think Alex's goal is to be the best player in this draft 10 years from now.
Okay.
And that's really what it comes down to, and that's kind of his mindset. He's been a pro's pro since I met him. He works hard. He went from 218 to 254. He only had one summer with us. He didn't get the first summer. He came in August. Didn't know the language. The kid's just, what he's done has just been truly remarkable, and I've watched his confidence grow from the first time he walked in my office till now. I can't imagine where the kid's going to be in 3 years. To see how far he's come in less than 2, and he's just a pro. He's just a pro. He's a great kid, and I don't know where he's going to go, but his goal is to be 10 years from now, just to be the best player in this draft.
Coach, there's a lot of talk about Zydrunas Ilgauskas, who obviously was a Cleveland Cavalier for a long time, came from overseas and everything else. The word is, and I don't know this for fact, but that Zydrunas Ilgauskas is in love with Alex Len, and he continues to tell the Cavaliers that's the guy to take. What would it mean for Alex to come to a team to have a guy like Zydrunas Ilgauskas that not only would understand the game professionally for him, but maybe could understand a lot of things Alex is going through in learning language and being away from home and all those other things that a lot of fans don't take into account when a young guy gets drafted by a team?
Well, Ilgauskas is smart because Alex is really good, and I think he's figured it out. We need everybody to figure that out and decide if he's the right fit for them. And I don't know that. I don't know their team
Right.
like they do. But I think Ogauskas would be great for Alex. Alex is still 20. We hope that his mom moves over here at least for a year when Alex, wherever he ends up. But I just think that would be a great comfort zone for Alex, a guy that he could really trust. And Alex he doesn't have an entourage. He wasn't highly recruited coming out of high school because it was a different route. So I think he's going to gravitate, to a certain 2 or 3 people within the organization. And that'd be a tremendous situation for him and for Alex and for the Cavaliers if it was able to work out.
Absolutely. Coach, how much did you see the Cavaliers? And we know we've heard from different programs with top players that they've seen the GM or different scouts. Were the Cavaliers a team that were around your Turpin's basketball club this year?
They were around a lot. The Cleveland was around a lot. And, they didn't know they were going to be number one when they were around. They were thinking, I think 4, 5, or 6 is where everybody thought they were going to be. I can't remember exactly. But they were around. Cleveland was around or more than anybody this year. They really worked hard. They've really studied Alex. And, I think Alex is there today and tomorrow in Cleveland doing interviews. Obviously, he can't work out, which I think really hurts Alex. Alex is a really, really skilled, fundamentally sound big man that would have worked out great because we do all those workouts with our players. And I think it's hurting him that he's not working out because I think if he would be working out, he'd be clearly the number 1 pick in the draft.
Is it just an ankle injury, Coach, that he's dealing with? And that's all because obviously we go back to Zydrunas. If anybody knows about big feet and surgeries, it's the Cleveland Clinic here in Cleveland.
Yeah, he had an ankle injury, and we sent him to Dr. Anderson down in Charlotte. He's the best in the country, and surgery couldn't have gone better. He had an appointment there early this week. He was down seeing the Bobcats and saw the doctor, and he's on schedule. He'll be 100%. He'll be full speed in October, and I don't think it's gonna. I know it's not gonna be a problem with Alex. He's a tough kid and agile kid, and just we felt great about the surgery. I think it was just kind of a freak injury, and everything's gonna work out great for him.
You guys beat Duke twice this year. Am I correct in saying that? I know you beat them once, but I believe it was twice, was it not?
Yeah.
And that's got to – and look, and you obviously leaving the ACC, coming here to the Big Ten, there's going to be a ton of big games here. But I get it. When you play those games, to beat Duke twice in 1 year with the youth that you had, I'm going to give you some credit. What does that mean to beat Coach K twice? And Alex was big in a couple of those games going against Mason Plumlee.
Yeah, I appreciate you mentioning that. No, it was good for us. We had our ups and downs, but for some reason we played well against Duke, and we crushed them at home by 1, and and got lucky. We might have beat them 2 at home, I think, 83-81. But it was a great win for us at the time, and I think our fans knew it was the last time we were going to have Duke at home, and it was just an unbelievable environment. Our fans just would not let us lose, and then Alex played great in that game, and against a really good player in Mason Plumlee, and that had his way with Alex last year, and really the first game of the year at Duke. Then we were able to beat him in the tournament, and actually we played probably our best game of the year, controlled most of the game, and Alex was tremendous on both ends, and our guard play was tremendous in that game. So, yeah, to beat Duke anytime is great, but to beat them twice for our young team and a game that means so much to Maryland fans, it was a lot of fun, and it was good for our program.
Coach, what does it mean to, and I'll let you roll, I really appreciate it. I could talk to you all day talking basketball. What does it mean with all the quality teams and games that Maryland's had against NC State, North Carolina, Duke, even Virginia to a certain extent if you go deep enough and look at it? What does it mean to the basketball program that they won't be in the ACC going forward? I know we have all, I remember Boeheim kind of complaining about the Big East breaking up. And I got to, I got to say, I'm kind of a traditionalist. I grew up